Hello and welcome to Cricket Happenings, dear friends and subscribers. On this Cricket Happenings show, we are going to look at the second day's play in the first Test match between South Africa and Australia, where Australia took a stranglehold on South Africa when they bowled them out for 162. And I thought Australia should be commended, especially Mitchell Marsh with 96, Mitchell Starc making 35 quick runs, Cummins eking out some runs as well, and they were the ones who really prolonged it. And South Africa had a wonderful chance to complete the formalities, but they couldn't. And the Australians deserve credit as Mitchell Marsh took the score to 351, missing out on a century, out for 96. And they bowled out. Mitchell Starc came with a 5-wicket haul to prize out the South African batsman. Nathan Lyon did it at the top. Mitchell Starc coming in and clearing up the middle and lower order, and it was all over. They were bowled out for 162 with a massive lead being taken by South Africa. I think it was 189. It was 189 runs lead, and that is, and as you know, and then Australia will be batting tomorrow. So that is something that I'm going to talk about, which will occupy, and also the ICC World Cup qualifiers in Zimbabwe is about to start from Sunday, where these teams are vying for 2 spots in the World Cup 2019 proper. We'll have a look at it. And there was an exciting match in the Pakistan Super League today, which went into the super over, and Andre Russell gave him the victory, but it went into the super over, as I said. It was the match between Islamabad United and Lahore Qalandars, and finally it was Islamabad United who actually won the 1-over eliminator. So first we are looking at the match between South Africa and Australia. So Australia resuming on their overnight score today. As I said, everything was in favour of the South Africans here at Kingsmead in Durban. On the second day, it was only a matter of capitalising, but they definitely started off in the right note when Kagiso Rabada got Tim Payne to actually nick behind the stumps, and he was out for 25 with 3 boundaries. And then Mitchell Marsh on the other end was given very good company by Cummins. Look at Cummins. I mean, he occupied 38 balls, but he eked out only 3 runs. At the other end, Mitchell Marsh, not only was he playing his strokes, his defense was absolutely, it was a sturdy defense. In fact, Kagiso Rabada gave him a nice welcome in the sense in the morning by bowling a few short ones at him, but Mitchell Marsh kept his cool and guided Australia. He got the company of Pat Cummins, who eked out 3 runs. Mitchell Starc came in and started clattering boundaries and sixes. In fact, he hit Keshav Maharaj for 2 consecutive sixes. He hit 4 fours in one single over of Mone Morkel to make a very quick fire 35. And then it was Keshav Maharaj who actually not only clean bowled Cummins, he also clean bowled Mitchell Starc for 35. Nathan Lyon was consumed by Maharaj once again. Maharaj getting a 5-wicket bag there, and finally Mitchell Marsh, after doing all the good work there, he was there till he was the 9th wicket to fall, but unfortunately Marsh could not. He truly deserved a century, but unfortunately he could not go the distance as he was snapped up. Now this was Philander bowling to Mitchell Marsh, and Mitchell Marsh tried to smoke it through the top, and it was Mone Morkel who was a tall person who actually put his hand over his head and actually took that catch, and Mitchell Marsh very sadly was out for 96. Truly deserved a century. A very good knock from Mitchell Marsh, 96 with 13 fours and 1 6. Josh Hazlewood was not out on 2, and the Aussies were 351 all out. And definitely, as I said, full credit to the Aussies, because one thought that South Africans had the great advantage going into the second morning with the new red cherry, with the dew factor, but they could not capitalize. And look at Keshav Maharaj once again showing that he loves the Aussie team, and he picks up wickets there as he did in Australia. 33.4 overs, 5 maidens, 123 runs, and he picked up a 5-wicket bag there. So well done, Keshav Maharaj. Morkel 22 overs, 3 minutes, none for 75. Philander had 3 for 59, 2 for 74 for Rabada. And South Africa started off their batting in reply to the Aussies 351, Dean Elgar and Markram in the middle. And in fact, it was a very clever ploy, one thought from the captain Stephen Smith, as he wanted to see. In the 8th over itself, Stephen Smith showing some very thinking captaincy. He was seeing that Dean Elgar was defending very well. He was playing the pace bowlers very well. Mitchell Starc was bowling a superb line. Cummins was bowling with not Cummins. It was Josh Hazlewood who was actually pitching it right there. And Markram and Elgar was slowly negotiating. Markram was looking a bit more confident than Elgar, and Elgar played one very good shot in that knock of his, which was the boundary, which was a very good shot, neat clip of his toes. But it was Nathan Lyon. It was a bit surprising to see. It was sort of a very good captaincy. I think probably Stephen Smith felt that Nathan Lyon is someone who could take care of Elgar, and in fact Dean Elgar Nathan Lyon actually was introduced in the 8th over itself, and he actually obliged his captain right away by picking up the wicket of Dean Elgar, when Dean Elgar got a sort of a leading edge and played into the hands of Nathan Lyon. And Nathan Lyon, as you know, he normally does, he has a lot of cotton ball victims, and that's what he precisely did. Dean Elgar was gone cotton ball line for 7 with 1 boundary. Hashim Amla came in, and in the very same over, Nathan Lyon gave them a double breakthrough as he forced Hashim Amla to get an inside jet onto a ball from Nathan Lyon, and Bancroft picked it up in the closing cordon. Amla was out for naught, and that was serious trouble for South Africa with the score reading 27 for 2. Markram was joined in by A.B. de Villiers. Markram continued. Markram, in the company of A.B. de Villiers, was playing some very good strokes, and he was looking good. And that was the time, just at the stroke of tea, Cummins got a bouncer to Andy Markram, and Markram had to fend at it, and Cameron Bancroft at forward short leg taking a very good catch. Markram making 32 with 6 boundaries. De Villiers was there, and du Plessis came and joined him. But after tea, we saw Mitchell Starc turn it on in a big manner as he started bowling round the wicket to the right-handers, and he started getting the angle absolutely right. He was slanting the ball into the slips, and that helped him get some good away movement, and it helped in actually nipping the wicket of du Plessis, who was caught behind for 15 with 1-4 and 1-6, and Bruin was sent back to the pavilion in similar fashion, caught behind a Starc for 6 with 1 boundary. And then at the other end, A.B. de Villiers was doing a very, very good job. He was looking more confident, and he was also playing his strokes with the normal panache that he normally does. And it was good to see A.B. de Villiers stroking the ball very nicely. Quinton de Kock, who had a harrowing series against India, was definitely under pressure, and it was Nathan Lyon actually clean bowling him for 20 with 4 boundaries that he hit. And after that, at the other end, as I said, it was A.B. de Villiers in the middle. A.B. de Villiers was trying to do his job, but again, he was definitely running out of partners there. Philander was a victim of the bowling of Starc for 8 with 1 boundary. Keshav Maharaj was clean bowled. He was totally castled by Hazlewood for naught. Rabada, Starc came in and completed the tail when he actually had Rabada LBW for 3, and Morkel stumps were shattered by Starc for naught, which left the Aussies, left the South Africans at 162 all out, and that meant that de Villiers, who had 11 fours in the knock of 71, remained unbeaten. So 162 all out, a tremendous performance from Australia, I thought. And as I said, first they did very well with the bat in the morning, and then coming in and actually getting the South Africans bowled out. It's a marvelous exhibition, I thought. And also, one has to commend Stephen Smith's thinking of bringing Nathan Lyon very early and starting Nathan Lyon picking up 2 wickets, and then the pressure definitely told on the South Africans. Mitchell Starc getting a 5 wicket back, 10.4 overs, 3 maidens, 34 runs and 5 wickets. What a line he bowled to the right-handers from round the wicket, slanting the ball into the slips there and getting the wickets, getting them to nick it behind. Hazelwood 13 overs, 5 maidens, 1 for 31. Nathan Lyon 16 overs, 3 maidens, 50 runs and 3 wickets. Superb bowling from Nathan Lyon. Cummins 12 overs, 2 maidens, 1 for 47. And that was close of play on the second day of the first Test match at Kingsmead in Durban, with the South Africa trailing by 189 runs. So Australia taking a massive lead of 189 runs, and they are absolutely in the box seat when they resume the third day's play. So Australia absolutely on the ascendant here, going into the third day in the first Test match against South Africa at Kingsmead in Durban. Well, from here, let's get on and let's talk about the ICC World Cup qualifiers coming up in Zimbabwe, which is going to be starting from Sunday. We already know the warm-ups have been going, so let's have a look at this ICC World Cup qualifier trophy. Now, the ICC World Cup qualifiers, which are going to start on Sunday, basically this is a tournament where 34 matches are going to be played in Zimbabwe, and only 2 teams are going to be there are only 2 spots left in the World Cup 2019, and it will be only 2 spots would be there among, I think there are, I'm just going to see like how many teams are there, and yes, I can tell you the teams here. So I'm going to talk about, as you know, West Indies have been really struggling. They have to really pull up their socks. They have not been doing very well in the warm-up matches. The tournament group comprises of Group A, which consists of Ireland, Netherlands, Papua New Guinea, United Arab Emirates, and the West Indies. That is Group A. So there are 5 teams in either group. Group B consists of Afghanistan, Hong Kong, Nepal, Scotland, and Zimbabwe. So if you look at it, there are 5 teams in the team, and out of the 5, it will be the top 3 from both the teams will go and contest the Super 6, which will happen, and from the Super 6 there will be the finals, and in the finals the whichever 2 teams which are there will go to the ICC World Cup 2019. As you know, we all know that right now, after looking at the way West Indies have been playing in the warm-up matches, probably before this ICC World Cup qualifier started, I would have definitely said that West Indies were clear favourites along with Afghanistan. But now one has to I have to really reserve my comments after looking at the West Indies as to how they played against the United Arab Emirates, losing to Afghanistan, and definitely their batting needs a real rejig according to me, and West Indies are the ones under pressure. Other than that, I think it should be a very good series which is coming up. Ireland is a very good team. If you look at the teams, I would say West Indies, as I said, West Indies to me were the favourites, but now they have to really pull it up. And Afghanistan, one knows what a commanding team Afghanistan is. I'm not going to go through those details because of my sore throat today. West Indies, as I already told you, Ireland also are a very good unit. Zimbabwe on their home turf would definitely be a very difficult proposition according to me. I think Zimbabwe team has gone a long way now, and it will be interesting to see these teams. And then we have the other teams which are making it: United Arab Emirates, Nepal, Hong Kong, and Papua New Guinea. So it's going to be very interesting, and Scotland. And I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritties here. As I said, with my sore throat, I wouldn't be able to really go the distance today. Sorry, dear friends. And now let's have a look at some, as I said, let's talk about the Pakistan Super League 2018, which had a match which was played between Islamabad United and the Lahore Qalandars, and it went to the super over today, and it was Islamabad United who actually prevailed. And also probably in some, probably in an, I wouldn't know how much time is left, but the match, the third one day international is coming up between England and New Zealand. As you know, both teams are locked at 1-1 right now. Well, dear fans and subscribers, unfortunately, I have to leave the cricket show. As I said, my throat seems to be a bit sore, but I think I have really covered the most important portion, and that was the Australia-South Africa second day's play. Well, dear fans and subscribers, as you all know, your host Ram, whatever be the situation, will be there to wax eloquent on the third day's play between South Africa and Australia, which should be a really a very interesting day's play according to me, which will really tell us as to how where the match is going after looking at how Australia play tomorrow. Well, dear fans and subscribers, a pleasure bringing you this daily cricket show every day, and it's about time for me to say good night.